Leonardo da Vinci, Italian artist, engineer, and scientist. Leonardo da Vinci was a painter, engineer, architect, inventor, and science student. His natural genius was so broad that he embodied the term Renaissance man. He is best known today for his paintings Mona Lisa and The Last Supper. He was largely self-educated and kept dozens of secret notebooks filled with inventions, observations, and theories ranging from aeronautics to human anatomy. His intellect and imagination combined to enable him to create, at least on paper, inventions such as the bicycle, the helicopter, and an airplane based on the physiology and flying ability of a bat. When was Leonardo da Vinci born? Da Vinci was born in Anciano, Tuscany, in 1452, close to the town of Vinci, which gave him his surname. Leonardo da Vinci, also known as Il Florentine because he lived near Florence, was a famous artist, inventor, and thinker in his own time. Da Vinci's parents were not married, and his mother, Caterina, a peasant, married another man and started a new family when da Vinci was very young. Beginning around the age of 5, he lived on the estate in Vinci owned by his father, Sir Pero, an attorney and notary. Da Vinci's uncle, who shared Da Vinci's appreciation for nature, also assisted in his upbringing. Early career. Da Vinci received no formal education beyond basic reading, writing, and math, but his father recognized his artistic talent and apprenticed him to the noted sculptor and painter Andrea del Verrocchio of Florence when he was around 15 years old. Da Vinci spent about a decade refining his painting and sculpting techniques, as well as studying mechanical arts. The Painters Guild of Florence offered Da Vinci membership when he was 20 in 1472, but he remained with Verrocchio until 1478, when he became an independent master. He began painting his first commissioned work, The Adoration of the Magi, for Florence's San Donato, a Scapito monastery, around 1482. However, Da Vinci never finished the piece because he moved to Milan shortly after to work for the ruling Sforza clan as an engineer, painter, architect, designer of court festivals, and, most notably, a sculptor. The family commissioned Da Vinci to create a magnificent 16 feet tall bronze equestrian statue to honor dynasty founder Francesco Sforza. Da Vinci worked on the project on and off for 12 years before completing a clay model in 1493. Due to the impending war, the bronze earmarked for the sculpture was repurposed into cannons, and the clay model was destroyed in the conflict after the ruling Sforza Duke fell from power in 1499. The Last Supper, although few of Da Vinci's paintings and sculptures survive, due in part to his limited output, 2 of his extant works are among the world's most well-known and admired paintings. The first is Leonardo da Vinci's The Last Supper, which he painted in Milan between 1495 and 1498. The Last Supper, a tempera and oil mural on plaster, was created for the refectory of the city's monastery of Santa Maria del Grazie. This work, also known as the Cenacle, measures approximately 15 by 29 feet and is the artist's only surviving fresco. It depicts the Passover meal at which Jesus Christ addresses the apostles and declares, "One of you shall betray me." Each apostle's distinct emotive expression and body language is one of the painting's outstanding features. Its composition, in which Jesus is centered among the apostles but isolated from them, has influenced generations of painters. Mona Lisa. When the French invaded Milan in 1499 and the Sforza family fled, Da Vinci may have followed, possibly first to Venice and then to Florence. There, he created a series of portraits, including La Gioconda, a 2:1 by 3:1-inch work known today as the Mona Lisa. The woman depicted, painted between approximately 1503 and 1506, has been the subject of speculation for centuries, particularly because of her mysterious slight smile. Previously, she was thought to be the courtesan Mona Lisa Gherardini, but current scholarship indicates that she was Lisa del Giocondo, wife of Florentine merchant Francisco del Giocondo. The portrait is now housed at the Louvre Museum in Paris, France, where it attracts millions of visitors each year. It is the only Da Vinci portrait from this period that has survived. Around 1506, Da Vinci returned to Milan with a group of his students and disciples, including Francesco Melzi, a young aristocrat who would be Leonardo's closest companion until the artist's death. Ironically, Gian Giacomo Trivolzio, the victor over Duke Ludovico Sforza, commissioned Da Vinci to create his grand equestrian statue tomb. It, too, was never finished. Da Vinci lived in Milan for 7 years before moving to Rome for 3 years after Milan became uninhabitable due to political strife. Inventions and philosophy. Da Vinci's interests were not limited to fine art. He studied nature, mechanics, anatomy, physics, architecture, weaponry, and other subjects, often producing precise, functional designs for machines such as the bicycle, helicopter, submarine, and military tank that would not be realized for centuries. Sigmund Freud described him as like a man who awoke too early in the darkness, while the others were all still sleeping. Several themes could be said to connect da Vinci's disparate interests. Most notably, he held that sight was humanity's most important sense and that sapere was essential to fully experiencing all aspects of life. He considered science and art to be complementary rather than distinct disciplines, and he believed that ideas developed in one could and should inform the other. Da Vinci probably did not complete a significant number of his paintings and projects due to his wide range of interests. He spent a lot of time in nature, testing scientific laws, dissecting bodies, and thinking about and writing about his observations. Da Vinci's notebooks. The notebooks, also known as Da Vinci's manuscripts and codices, are now housed in museum collections after being scattered after his death. The Codex Atlanticus, for example, includes a design for a 65-foot mechanical bat, essentially a flying machine based on bat physiology and aeronautics and physics principles. Other notebooks contain Da Vinci's anatomical studies of the human skeleton, muscles, brain, digestive, and reproductive systems, which gave a wider audience a new understanding of the human body. Da Vinci's notebooks, however, had little influence on scientific advancement during the Renaissance period because they were not published in the 1500 seconds. How did Leonardo da Vinci die? In 1516, French ruler Francis I generously offered da Vinci the title of premier painter, an engineer, and architect to the king, allowing him to paint and draw at his leisure while living in a country manor house, the Chateau of Clou, near Amboise in France. Although accompanied by Melzi, to whom he would leave his estate, the bitter tone and drafts of some of da Vinci's correspondence from this period suggests that his final years were not happy. Da Vinci died in 1519 at the age of 67 in Clou. He was laid to rest near the palace church of St. Florentin. The church was nearly destroyed during the French Revolution, and its ruins were completely demolished in the early 1800 seconds, making it impossible to pinpoint da Vinci's exact gravesite.